This is the English Literature YouTube channel. I am Prof.L.B.Gayakawad is teaching today the topic Story Building Part 1. See, the story is the concept which comes into existence with the incidents happen with order in the life of a person. Remember, the story happens with the man, and this story has the sequence of the incidents, means some incidents happen in the life of the person, and those incidents are all together taken, and that happens the particular story. Building is the process by which something or a body of a thing is created. Remember, building is the particular word here which has come with the story, and it has been said as the story building. So we are discussing now on the word building. Building is the process by which something or a body of a thing is created. Means building is the particular word which is showing the structure, because there is the particular thing, and that thing is made up, or that thing is brought into the structure, or that thing is brought into the precious, I will say, the biggest thing, and that is called the building. Building means the particular body of the thing which is made from some original thing, and therefore here the building word is showing the structure of the story. For example, I will say here, substances of the building or home come together in the form of hard soil, cement, steel, bricks, and home is made by the mansions. So remember, if we want to make or build our own home, then we can bring the substances like the hard soil, cement, steel, and bricks, and with the help of all these substances we can make our particular adjustment, and mansions are there who build our home with the help of these substances. In the same way, here the story is built with the substances or processes available, and process is called story building. Remember, in this way there are the particular processes or the particular systems with which we can make the story building. To tell a simple story, a practice is essential. Remember, here the point is that if we want to speak or write, or if we want to imagine a simple story, then we must have the particular practice. Without the practice, we cannot make the story successful. It is said that the educated person tells a tale badly. It is very clear that the education is not making person the imaginative character. Education is there, but there is no internal wise in the body of the man perhaps, and that's why though there is the educated person, that educated person can make the beautiful story or can create or build the beautiful story, it is not possible. And that's why here it is said that the educated person always tells the bad story, because D.H. Lawrence in his own poem has said that education does not make a good person. Education is the bread and butter, but the inner vice of the person makes man great one. And here he tells that if man has the imagination or the talent, he can make the particular masterpiece of his own. Then it means he has no accuracy of telling story with its rules and regulations. Remember, there is the educated person, but this educated person has no accuracy in his rules and regulations, because he has the rules, he has the education, but he has not the systematic study of making that particular story in the sense of the expansion, because at first the original points are given there, and on the basis of the original points the educated person has to expand those points into the particular uh, I will say the story. And this thing becomes very much difficult for the educated person, because he does not follow the rules and regulations of the expansion of the story, and that's why it becomes very much difficult for the educated person also. It is very clear that the story building is also very difficult and systematic job on the part of the particular writer who wants to make the story building. Mentally, he never thinks ahead and plans it out without planning. Remember, this educated person does not think mentally, and that's why he plans out it without planning. Remember, though he is the educated person, he has no planning to have the particular building of the story. And it is said that to make anything successful, we must have the particular planning. And in this way, this educated person also should take the particular planning to build his story from the given outline or from the given points, which are the original points and on the basis of those original points he has to make his building of the story. So he makes repetitions, omits significant points. Remember, here this educated man makes a lot of mistakes. What he does, he makes repetitions. Means he goes to make the story building, but he makes repetitions there. He omits the significant points there. Means he takes useless points and omits the important points. He changes places with mistakes. Means he brings some changes and he makes mistakes by changing those places of the words or those places of the particular sequence. He stops on minor details of the story. Means there are the minor details, means there are not the significant or important details, and this educated person stops there on the minor details, and that's why this story building becomes very much difficult even for the educated person. And that's why it is the duty of the educated person to do the particular story building very systematically. That is the important point. And in this way, the educated person fails to emphasize the leading points. Remember, the story building is made with the help of the leading points, with the help of the significant points or important points, and this educated person forgets all these leading points, and that's why this successful attempt of this educated person fails here, and he cannot make the beautiful story building of his own. Here again we will say that to build a good story, you must, or the gentleman must, or the writer must have the whole plot clear in his mind. Remember, when the gentleman or when the writer or any person is going to make the story building, then to have the story building, the gentleman must uh, think of the particular plot. He must have the idea of the total plot, because the plot is important. That plot is the original matter, original concept, and that original concept is very much useful to make the story building. And if he has the typical idea, or if he has the great idea of the plot of the story, then then he can make the story building very nicely. And if he has put that particular thing clearly about the plot in his mind, then he can make the story building very successfully. That is very important point, I will say here. And this gentleman must have the main points arranged in his proper order or sequence. Means this gentleman or this educated person uh, should collect all those points together, and he should put those points in the sequence or in the order. Because if there is no order, if there is no sequence, then that story will not be successful, because every story has the sequence. Means there is the sequence called 1 2 3 4 5 6. That is the sequence. It means that the first episode is first, then second episode, then third, then fourth. It means that the first incident, second incident, third and fourth incidents, then all the incidents in this way go in the particular order. So this should be followed by the educated person, or by the gentleman, or the writer who wants to make the story building. Here he should not make up a story. Remember, he should not make up here a story only, because it is his habit to make the story only. It is not necessary to make the story only. It is necessary to make the study of that story building very systematically. Then the plot of each story is given there, and that plot is in more or less quantity. There is the plot, and that plot is given there in the form of less or more quantity. It means that the plot is not exact there. Means the plot is more there, or the plot is not more there. Means the plot is less, or the plot is more there. And that's why it is very much a difficult thing for the educated person, and that's why this educated person must do the story building systematically. Then it will happen very nice on his part. Then this educated person should study the outline provided for the story building. Remember, when this educated person is going to make the story building, the outline is there. Means there is the outline, means there are some points given. Suppose 5 6 or 10 points are given there, and those points are called the outline. That outline should be studied by this educated person very carefully, and if he studies it very carefully, then he can make the story building very nicely. That outline is only the skeleton. Remember, that outline is only the skeleton. It means that it is lifeless. It has not got the particular life. It means that it is not the story building. It is only the point, or these are only the points. But when this educated person will go with the systematic method, these points will get life and they will be the particular story expansion, or I will say it will be the particular building of the story. So at first I will say that originally the outline is only the skeleton, and the educated person has to clothe the skeleton in the form of the story called the story building. Remember, the original points or the original outline of the story building is only the skeleton. Skeleton means what? I will say they are without clothes, means they are only the parts, and those parts are bare, means those parts have no clothes, and that skeleton has to be fulfilled with the clothes. And when we put the clothes upon that skeleton becomes very much beautiful. In this way, when we trace the particular skeleton of the outline in the sense of the particular story building, then that outline or that skeleton becomes the successful story. Then the educated gentleman must produce a connected narrative given in the skeleton for a form to make the story from it as interesting as he can do. So remember, here in the end of this topic we will say that the everything is available in the hands of the educated person. The educated person can produce the connected narrative, and with the help of that connected narrative he can make the expansion, particularly to have the story building, and he can make that story building very interesting as per his own opinion. Because if he wants to make that story building very interesting or very very attractive or very very appreciable, then he can do, but it is only in his hand. And if he goes with the rules and regulations of the story building, then he can make the story building very successful. Here today we have finished the topic story building part first. Again we will come in front of each other by taking a new topic. Till then, thank you very much.